Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery for the biweekly webinar today, December 11th, 2014. And I've got Chris and Adam on with me for support as usual. Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello?
Good, good. We got a lot to cover today, so I'm going to go through a few of these presentation slides to get us started, and then we will get into the presentation itself. So starting off with what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about social link building apps. There's been a lot of buzz right now because of SendWire being promoted heavily, which is Joe Troyer's application. It works pretty well. I've got both of these in addition to what we do with our IFTTT network, so I can actually show you guys the dashboard of both of these applications and how they work and that sort of thing. I'm going to give you my opinions on them because I do use both of those as well. So we're going to talk about those, in part because we had some questions yesterday for the Hump Day Hangouts that I didn't give proper attention to, so we're going to cover those as well, probably right up front. We're going to talk about DA boosting. We talked about it a little bit the last time we had a public webinar before Thanksgiving, but we didn't get into it as far in depth as I had hoped, and also since this is the members only webinar, the last one was public, I'd like to go into some specific examples of how to do this that I wouldn't really want to share publicly. Okay, so I'm going to go into that, and then we're going to talk about Saper. Saper is a great little software program that one of our members, Adam Patel, actually sent me a link to a while back to test out, and I have been testing it recently. I've set up a few campaigns with it, which basically what it does is it integrates with the SAPE.ru network, which are the Russian network. Russian links, and you can find some really high-powered links for dirt cheap. They're not the greatest of links, and in fact, some of them are probably hacked links, that kind of stuff. But it's there, and if you can use it properly, it can have some good effect. And so we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to actually show the software and the links on where you can get it and all that kind of stuff. Then that's going to bring us right into using 301s. 301 redirects, because if you're going to be using any kind of SAPE links, I suggest that you buffer them properly, and 301 redirects is one of the ways that we can do that. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to have any Q&A at the end. Obviously, Chris and Adam, both of you guys know just to jump in at any time if somebody asks a question, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So first thing, let me go ahead and show my entire screen, and we'll jump into the community to finish asking or answering questions from yesterday, and then we'll get into the SociSend stuff. So let me go to the events page. We had a really good Hump Day Hangout yesterday. It went an hour long, but there was a lot of good questions that I tried to get to. So by the way, guys, the replay is going to be up on the new events page that I set up for next week. I just hadn't done that yet. I'll probably do that as soon as we're done today here with this webinar, and go ahead and invite everybody to that, and you guys can come check it out and post your questions on the new events page as well as watch the replay. So, okay, so Jaime asked yesterday, and I got into it very briefly at the end, but I'd like to go into more depth here. He says, do we need SociSend or SendWire for our social media campaigns for clients? Do we need it? No. Will it help? Yes. And the reason I say that is because it's additional link sources, right? And I use SociSend. Let me first of all explain what my opinions are of both of these, and to that we can actually go back to the slideshow for a moment. Wait a minute, what happened? Here we go. Okay. Social link building app, SociSend. It's about 90% automated. I like it because it's got crowdsourced accounts. In other words, there's a ton of people that are a part of the SociSend network, okay, which means that they've submitted their own set of accounts to the network. And when you post to SociSend, which again is about 90% automated, and we're going to walk through both of these programs here in just a moment, guys, but I'm giving you my overall view of them first. When you submit a post to the SociSend network, it will post on other people's accounts, not your own, period. Okay, so they have something in place that prevents it from posting on your own account. So it goes out on other people's accounts. So you get extreme domain diversity by using SociSend because it's going out across everybody else's accounts that's in the network. You know, obviously your IP diversity is restricted to however many IPs, you know, each, you know, like Tumblr, it's going to be the same IP, but you're going to get different domains. So it's very powerful in that respect. However, the drawback with SociSend is that you can't control the quality of other people's accounts. So with that said, there are a lot of spammers in SociSend. And because of that, your posts, the posts that have a link back to your site, are going to get mixed in with posts to pharma stuff and you know, to make money online stuff, and in the Empower network, you see that kind of crap all the time, and you see really poorly done posts and things like that, and that you don't have any control over that, right? Because they're not your own sites, so you can't control, and it doesn't matter. It's not like you can set up. There's categories and topics that you're supposed to pick in SociSend, and we'll get into the dashboard in a moment, and I'll show you what I mean. But people don't abide by that. Again, there's a bunch of spammers in there. So your posts will go out and will be right next. Like, for example, you could be promoting a, let's use Michael Bose as an example, a tax product, you know, tax software, a tax preparation software, and it could be right next to something that's for, you know, what is it, acai berry, you know, weight loss, or green coffee bean extract, or something like that. So it really makes no sense, right? So you don't have any control over that. So that's part of the reason. That's one of the drawbacks about SociSend. But the way I look at it is that there are social links in nature. So they're social and Web 2.0 links, and they're not going to have any anchor text whatsoever. It's usually just a naked URL. So I'm not so worried about it, and that's why I use SociSend a lot. In fact, I've got 2 licenses for it. I've run one on my local computer, the one that I'm on right now, and then I've got one on one of my dedicated servers. So I do use it quite a bit. All right. Whoops. That said, so SendWire is more manual. Plus they're all your own accounts, so you have to continue to add accounts in there for however many accounts you want to add. I'm going to show you mine dashboard in a moment and show you that we have about, like in my SendWire account, I've got like over, I think, like 541 Web 2.0 accounts in there right now, and you can keep adding to it. I'm going to keep adding to it as well. I just haven't recently. So, but you'll see it's more manual posting. And what's cool about SendWire that you can't do with SociSend is you can create themed networks. But remember, again, they're your own. So if you're only going to submit, you know, 50 or 60 properties to SendWire, or add 50 or 60 properties to SendWire, then you're going to constantly be posting on the same networks, right? The same sites, and so you're not going to get the diversity that SociSend will give you. But you can create themed networks, which means the links coming from those are going to be so much cleaner with higher trust flow, right? That makes sense. And it's also, what I use SendWire for is for boosting previously syndicated content. So in other words, obviously IFTTT is what we start off with, right? Any content that I publish on the blog or from a YouTube channel, and you guys know I'm doing a ton of YouTube stuff right now, but everything goes out across the IFTTT networks first. And then I just wait and see, generally, give it about 2 weeks to see where the content is finally going to settle in the search results, right? And then if I need to boost it, that's where I'll use SendWire. Okay, I'll take the video, for example, and I use it mainly for video stuff, not necessarily for websites, although you can use it for that. It's fine. But I use it mainly for boosting videos. If the video has not got to page 1 or it's, you know, not where I want it to be yet, then I'll go ahead and do another syndication blast with SendWire to the video. And like I said, you can also build links back to a blog post or whatever. So that's how I use that. Now with SociSend, I use SociSend to pillow, right, or to build cushion links, to dilution links to all of my websites, especially websites, okay? Because if I'm going to hit them with any anchor text links whatsoever, I want to have a lot of non-anchors, or, you know, just URL links and generic anchors like bookmark type stuff already for each one of the pages that I'm going to hit up with an anchor text link, right? So that's why I use SociSend. I use SociSend mainly for website stuff, and I use SendWire stuff for YouTube, for video stuff. And so I hope that kind of clears that up a little bit. Hope that explanation was clear enough. So we'll jump into the dashboards here in just a moment. which is better to use, SocialSend or SendWire? Well, like I said, I just explained how I use it. Neither one of them is better. I mean, for more, if to be honest, the SocialSend is more automated, and I like automation. That's part of the reason we have the IFTTT networks, right? Because it automates so much of what we do. And when you're dealing, and I know Jaime's got several clients as well, over 10 clients. So when you're dealing with that many clients, automation is key, and SocialSend is a heck of a lot more automated. So in your case, Jaime, I would suggest SocialSend over SendWire. What is the difference between SendWire and Hootsuite? Okay, Hootsuite is all Hootsuite does, and I mentioned this yesterday, but all Hootsuite does is it will syndicate content to like the main social accounts. If you go look at Hootsuite.com, you'll see that it just will syndicate to like Google Plus, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I don't know if they've added any others to that since. Let's see. We'll go to Hootsuite. We'll just check it out real quick. I had ShootSuite. Look at that. See if they've done anything different since then. It looks like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google Plus. It looks like nothing's different. So I don't see that how it's done anything different. But anyways, Hootsuite is very similar to what we use it for Buffer. Which, by the way, Chris, you're on, right? Can you jump in? Did you find out about Buffer and the thumbnail image with Google Plus?
Yeah, like how I solved it was pretty much, you remember for the IFTTT network, we used two links, one do follow and one no follow.
Mm-hmm.
I only used the link for the blog post itself and left the one for the blog out, and that fixed it for me.
That fixed it. Well, I'm glad you told me that, because I had not figured it out yet, and I just left it the way it was. So what I'm talking about here, guys, is that with Buffer and the IFTTT network, we use Buffer to syndicate our content to the Google Plus page, right? But with the attribution link, and I'm glad Chris figured that out, the attribution link, which would have a link back to the post with the post title as the anchor text, right? And then we would generally have appeared first on, and we would put a link back to the home page, whether it was hard-coded or whatever. And apparently it was pulling for Google Plus the thumbnail image for the post. It would pull the post from the homepage URL instead of the post link. And so the same, every time you made a post to Google Plus, automatically through IFTTT would be the same image every single time. And I hadn't taken the time to figure that out, but Chris just did. So that's the solution there. And maybe I'll do an update video, guys, and add it to the community and possibly into the IFTTT training course to say that, so that we can resolve that. But anyways, essentially, I'm sorry.
I actually used our famous plugin and modified it a bit. So I have a special feed just for the Google Plus feeds at the moment for exactly that syndication.
For this SMRSS plugin?
Yes.
Very cool. I haven't played with it yet. Damn it. So. All right. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, then I'll add an update video for those that do not use the plugin, and then we'll also have that available. Cool. I appreciate that, Chris.
Okay.
So Hootsuite does something very similar that as Buffer does. You can automate your postings to your Google Plus page, not your profile, but your page, plus to the other Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Typically, I don't do any automating postings to LinkedIn because it'll get your account shut down, at least not spam accounts. So that's why we don't even use LinkedIn in the IFTTT networks. Facebook pages, yes, you can do that. So anyways, it does the same thing. And with a free account with Hootsuite, you can add, I think, 2 RSS feeds. So essentially, you can take your RSS feed directly from your website and connect it to Hootsuite, and it will auto post to those accounts. So that's just I use IFTTT instead of Hootsuite, but that's one way that you can do it. All right, let's go back and answer a couple more of these, and then we're going to move into the dashboard of the social applications. How can SocialSend help us increase ranking, because we are thinking of getting this instead? Yeah, Jaime, I just talked about that with using it to pillow your sites. It's really, really important to do that. So, and also you asked about, can we use SocialSends for our BBNs as well? Yeah, and I totally suggest doing that, because Google with especially with PBNs, if you're buying an expired domain, you put new content on it, and all of a sudden it's a static domain now, like nothing is changing. You're not adding posts to it, and it's not collecting its own links and receiving traffic and that sort of thing. Then that link becomes less powerful in Google's eyes. Even if the metrics say that it's a powerful link, it becomes less powerful of a link. If you guys don't think that Google's watching traffic and and watching the activity on blogs, then I think you're misguided, because I'm almost certain they are, and in fact, if they're not yet, they will be soon. So my suggestion is that you constantly are boosting your PBNs with additional links, including not just straight spam links, but social links too, because you will get some traffic coming to your PBNs through those social type links. Maybe not a lot, but some. And some traffic signals are better than nothing, right? So that's going to keep those blogs more active and more relevant, even if they are just PBNs. So I always suggest doing that. And so SociSend will help increase rankings, because if you are using that to boost your PBNs, it's going to make those links more valuable, number one. Number two, if you're building links back to your pages, it's going to help to dilute any anchor text. And if you're careful and you know what you're doing, you won't over-optimize your links, your inbound link profile. And if you do over-optimize, this will help to mitigate some of that because of the more generic or general anchor text in nature, or URL anchors for that matter. What steps can you help recommend to boost our rankings? We talked a little bit about that yesterday, so I'm not going to recover that. I do a lot of press release stuff, guys. That helps a lot. If you're doing, if you're trying to get some link diversity and some quick boost, because you can do a press release and get 300-400 links, and it will actually, it's okay to get a spike of links like that because it looks natural. It's a press release type. Just don't use exact match anchor text with do follow links. I suggest using brand name and or naked URLs, and if you're going to use anchor text, that you just follow the link. And I mentioned that yesterday. A couple places that you guys can get, and we'll jump into this very quickly. SBWire. I use newswire.net, and I don't know if they are taking new members or not. It used to be SBWire, but now it looks like it's called ReleaseWire. That there was a package, trying to see, I don't know, maybe this is a different site. SBWire is what I was looking at. It's been a while since I looked at the site, so maybe they changed, or maybe this is a different, maybe it's SBWire.net. Let's take a look real quick. The reason why I'm mentioning SBWire is because they have a package where you can get like five PRs per month for like $90 or something like that. 5 press release distributions per month. So it might be this. I don't know where the let's go look at the press releases and see. That's just the newsroom. Anyways, play around with this. Look for it. Maybe it's on sign up. Let's check that out. Okay, $39 per press release. Man, maybe they don't have those packages anymore. That would suck, because they were. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to look around and maybe do some research. But SBWire used to allow like 5 press releases a month for $90. And so if you've got a lot of clients, you're doing a lot of SEO work, then it's good to have that. Even if you don't use all 5 every month, it's just good to have that available. So that's what I do. I don't do a lot of press releases, but I pay for them every month anyways because I like having them available. So that's one. There's a couple other ones. Let's see if I can find them. PR Reach. This is a really, really cool service here, because what they do is they actually do press releases with, let me pause that. They do press releases and also like do a video, and they do video syndication out across their own syndication networks. So you get the press release links and the video links, and their video that they include they write the press release and everything, but they do a video where it's like a news anchor, and it's just a green screen, but it's in the background. It's got, it looks like they're in a newsroom, and they basically read the press release like a news reporter would, and then so that it's a real high perceived value, and I think their pricing is like $69. Oh wow, geez, they went way up. Goodness gracious, they were, the last time I looked, which is about 3 or 4 months ago, they were $69 for one press release, and it was like $167 for 3 press releases per month, and it looks like they've gone way up. So Well, can't give you a good price on that now, guys. But if you want to, I know it's very, very powerful, very effective, and with the videos, get your client to pay for it. Charge your client $400 and do it for 200. So I hope that helps. Just look around and try to find good press release places if you're going to do that. Again, I suggest doing those because they're very good for diversifying your link profile, and they will help with getting a surge of good, quality links in. So, do you recommend we continue to post our PBN sites weekly? I talked about that yesterday, and I say yes, or whatever seems reasonable for the industry that you're posting in. Is it still okay to use curated content on our PBN sites? Yes, I use curated content for everything. We talked about that yesterday too. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. All right, SociSend and SendWire. We're going to get inside and show you guys the inside of that. And we'll go into my VPS account. All right, so you can see here that this is the dashboard. Oh, by the way, I'm going to put this in. I meant to do this. Put these links in chat for you guys so that you have them to go to as references. Whoops. Oh, the chat was disabled. Sorry, guys. Were you guys seeing chat, Chris and Adam?
That was working.
Yep.
Okay, because I had it disabled on my end. I didn't know if that disabled it for you guys too. There's SociSend, and here's SendWire. And I'm going to post two links in here actually for SendWire because the first one is the home page, which they show is not available to purchase right now, but it is. The second link is the actual purchase link, and that's I think $300 for lifetime. That's what I got, was that. So anyways, there's the links for that. Inside SociSend, this is the campaign setup. If you take a look at view accounts here, actually, I'm sorry, let's go to add accounts. These are the different accounts that you can create, you can add. You set up an account and then you add it. And what's interesting is a while back, they opened it up to where you could submit more than one set of accounts. So in other words, you make a persona, you create the accounts, you add the accounts to the system, and then you can go out and create another set of accounts under another persona, and they call them groups here, and so you can submit underneath a different group. And so that way you can basically, I think you can have as many as 3 total groups. That's what I have on each. I have not tried adding a 4th because I think I remember him saying somewhere that was the max. But so it gives you more links, and I'll show you like link counts and stuff in a minute. But what I've got off the top of my head, well, yeah, I'll just show you my account profile in a moment, because I found that a lot of these sites in here, it's pointless to create an account and submit because they get shut down. And you end up doing so much work creating accounts and keep adding them in the system for them just to get terminated, and they're useless anyway. So I've got the set of accounts that I use that have withstood the test of time, or that very rarely get shut down, so I continually use those, and I'll show you those in a moment. But what's cool is you can see that these are the total number of sites in the parentheses here for each one of these account types. And you guys are seeing my screen, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see like Blinklist has got 1,478 accounts. Blogger's got 1,409 accounts. So this is what I was talking about with crowdsourced accounts. Essentially, you can post in, submit a post to the SociSend network, and it can get syndicated out on 1,400 Blogger accounts. It won't, because there's limitations to how many posts you'll get back for any one submission. But my point is you have access to 1,409 Blogger accounts, in other words, or 1,408 minus your own, right? So you can see that there are some of these accounts have just tons and tons of sites in them. LinkedIn, I don't use LinkedIn, but Scoop, it's got 1,445. StumbleUpon, 1,572. Twitter, 1,575. So you can see that there's a lot of accounts here that you can use, that other people, other people's accounts that you have access to. In other words, one of the newest ones is FC2. I tried using FC2 in IFTTT because they have a post by email function, but the accounts were getting shut down and it was real buggy. and they actually, that was probably about 4 or 5 months ago, so that's why I never actually gave the video to you guys for that account, because I wanted to test it first, and it wasn't real successful for the IFTTT network. So he actually, Abbas, or whatever the guy's name is, the developer for this product, he added this about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago. And I've submitted a couple accounts, but I haven't followed up to see. You can see there's only 19 accounts there. It's a brand new site that was been added, so the jury is out on that one still. But let me go in and show you the account list. You can see that this is my default account set, which is the the first account set, and in the second group and third group. And I'm using about 19 connections here that I've, like I said, withstood the test of time. And you can see that those are these: Blinklist, Blogger. If you guys want a list of these specifically after the webinar, just make a mention of it on the webinar replay page, the post. I'm going to add the replay in the community, and just request it there, and I'll compile a list for you. Okay, or take a screenshot of it now. Blinklist, Blogger, Bookmark for You, Buffer, Delicious, Diigo. Buffer's just so you can post to the Google Plus account, the page, Google Plus page. You'll also see Google Sites. This is kind of where I got the idea to do the Google Sites script, which Chris has been working on, and Chris P has been working on. And that's not complete yet, is it, Chris? You said you're having trouble with it?
No, it's almost complete. Like, it's working, but the triggers, so
okay.
It's working in a way that you have to trigger it at the moment manually, but I gotta still work on it, that it's
okay.
When you post something, that it's posted automatically, and you don't have to go in and do it all manually.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Google Sites. I've found that Google Sites are incredibly powerful. They're free. It's not quite Blogger, but they're hosted on Google domains, right? And you can have unlimited accounts underneath your own. At least as far as I know, they're unlimited, and they're really, really powerful for video. Just think about it. You create a video on YouTube, which is a Google property, and then you push it out across your Google Plus, which is kind of integrated with YouTube anyways. You post it on Blogger, and you post it on Google Sites. Now you've got like this huge network of just Google juice. So it's very, very powerful. And I found that embedding videos on Google Sites and then blasting the Google Sites with backlinks helps the video to rank very, very well. So that's where what I was talking about. And Chris has been working on integrating or creating an application to where we can post to Google Sites automatically too. Okay, this is the only way I know how to do it so far without manually posting, is to post in SendWire. I'm sorry, SociSend, but then it's not an embed; it's just a backlink. Okay, for video stuff. But there's Pinterest, Plurk, Scoop.it, Sonico, StumbleUpon, Twitter, and YFrog. There's also Yahoo Groups, but I've got that disabled right now because it was having login trouble. So anyways, these are the accounts that I use for that. Now we'll go take a look at campaigns, and I'll show you one. As a matter of fact, I've got a video that I want to boost that I'm going to go ahead and set up a campaign with you guys live today, because I want to show you exactly how I do it, and also because this video needs a push anyways. So I killed two birds with one stone. This is one of the videos I've done for one of my clients from the video production company that I do the SEO for now. So this is one of their videos. It's for a sewing or a quilt shop in one of the local towns around me. So if I wanted to come in here, let's see, I don't have a video campaign, so I'm going to create a campaign right here, and I'm going to call it videos. Okay, and you can see right here, you can set the max submission for each connection. So for each connection that it makes, like for example, Blogger would be a connection, Tumblr would be a connection, and so it's saying that this is the max amount of times that you will post to a Blogger account, and you can set that higher. You didn't used to be able to, but you can now. For videos, I like to set it higher. For blog, for syndicating, or for building links back to like a website, I just use it at the default settings. Max submissions per day, so that's obviously 3 per day, or you can go a little bit higher with videos, like 5. I think you can raise that. I'm not sure if I can't. It'll say so right now. It looks like that took, so we should be fine. So now what we did is we created a campaign. Now you can have 8 live campaigns. This is called a vote campaign, so that's separate. That's independent. We'll get into that in just a moment. But you can have 8 active campaigns at any one time, and within each campaign you can be promoting 8 links. So essentially you can have 64 link promotions going on simultaneously, if that makes sense. So if we go in, like for example, these are maxed out. Sobi VIP and Sobi VIP 2 are both maxed out at 8 posts. So I can't add any more links to that. If I tried to, it wouldn't allow me to. So like if we go into manage posts for a moment, you can see, and this will give me a good a good opportunity to show you guys how the links counts come back. But if I was to create article, you see like I'm clicking on it right now, nothing's happening because it's full. But if I remove one of them, and I will in just a second, you can see that I can create an article or create a post, and I'll explain both of those in just a moment too. And guys, again, I prefer this SociSend over SendWire only because it is so automated. It makes things a lot easier. But for example, if we were to take a look at this, you'll see that it's showing a 45%, right? So what I found is that this system, the higher you get, when you first submit a link, it's going to show running at 0%. And as it starts to build links to the post or the link that you've submitted, it's going to start accruing a percentage here. But once you get into the 30s, it starts to really slow down. So and then between like 35 and 50, it'll go really, really slow in building links. So typically what I've found is that, and like I'll set on a Monday, I'll come in and I'll refresh all my links, or I'll update all my links, create new posts, and then I'll wait, and the following Monday I'll come back and then I'll just reset everything. Like I'll basically clear out the links and do it again. So my point is I let them build like 7 to 10 days tops, because you'll never get it. I've never seen it go above like a 62%, and that was after it had been in here for weeks. So just keep that in mind, and you'll see that the post counts are here. So if we actually look at the link, if we click on that, and it'll show you the counter for the post. It won't actually show you the posts themselves, but you can see right here there's 10 from Blinklist, 10 from Blogger. Sometimes it goes over what the thresholds are set, so you can see there's 11 for Delicious. You guys are seeing this window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I know sometimes they don't show pop-ups. Hangouts doesn't show pop-ups. Okay, so that just to show you that these are the kind of counts that you can get. So anyways, I'll go ahead and X out of that. And let me remove one of these. And it takes the server sometimes, I guess, is a little slow. So now if I click create article, you see what happened? It gave me the ability to add. Now, the difference between create article and create post is a post, you put your own content in there, and you want to use spin text. So what you can do is you can actually, in the settings for SociSend over here, you can add like spin rewriter or the best spinner API, API key, and then you can actually just add a regular article in here and click spin body, and it will spin it directly inside of here. Or you can just add copy and paste with spin tags in. So that's if you want to add your own articles, and if you're trying to build higher quality links back to your stuff, then that's what you would want to do is use more manual stuff, because otherwise if you click create article, it creates a post and basically uses article builder as the content source. But I don't take the time to make my own posts. Very rarely do I do a create post. I usually just do create article because it's automated. All right, so let me go ahead and X out of here and get into the proper campaign videos, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we click create article, I've got this YouTube link I'm going to use as the target URL. The article category, let's see what we have available. I think it's going to be, these are all article builder categories, guys. If you're familiar with that, you'll know this. I think hobbies is what I'm looking for here. Yeah. And then this is stumble upon interest. So for here, let's see, I think they have a quilting category. And we'll check for it. OPQ right there. Yeah, quilting. So you'd want to set tags. I'm going to just do this very quickly, but we're going to say like quilt shop, quilting, sewing, needlepoint. Sad that I know these keywords. Sewing, needlepoint. We'll put the geographic keyword in there. In this case, Manassas, and in Virginia. And you can add, quite a bit of tags in there. There is a limit to characters, but I don't know how many it is. Then here's min and max tags. So I'm going to say we'll do a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 6. Then there's hashtags for Twitter. So I always just take the same tags that I put right here and paste them in, but you just need to remove any spaces between words. So if you've got like quilt shop, for example, right here, you want to just delete that space so that it's all under one you know, it's in hashtag format. And then for max hashtags to use, I always just do one or maybe two for that. And then you click add post. And now it's been submitted, and you'll see that, you know, if we came back to this in 10, 15 minutes, you'd probably see a couple counts here. All right. All right, so one last thing I want to show in here about this is the vote campaign. If you go to the vote campaign, which you can create up here. Also, guys, you can submit via RSS, but it won't auto-post. All it will do is pull the posts in to here, and then you have to still manually configure each one of the campaigns. So it'll just make them available like in the dashboard, the posts that are, you know, that you can submit. All right, so just let you know, it doesn't auto-post them out to the network. But if we go into the manage posts, you can see what I like about this is you get Facebook shares. They have website hits, which is just basically, you know, traffic to the website. You can get website hits that way, which is it's not bad. You could do that for like YouTube videos and stuff. And then there's Google Plus search and click, which I know we've talked about click-through rate recently a lot. This you only get 10 though. You know, that's the problem with this is that you're only supposed to get 10. Sometimes it'll go a little bit over, but not much before the system pulls it into the completed. It takes it out of the queue. So that's why I found the Google Plus click or the Google Add G search, Google search, to be a little bit useless because you're only getting 10 click-throughs, and it's really not worth it. It's not worth the time setting that up. But there's Reblog for Tumblr. If you want to add a Tumblr post URL, then you can get reblogs. There's retweets. I like the retweets. I use that a lot. So, and it will do it very, very quickly. Like this one right here was from, if we were to click through, let's see, I did this one, I don't know, probably a few days ago, and I posted this tweet. No, I guess it was the wrong URL. Anyways, I posted the tweet URL, the stat, so to get retweets, and it got the 11 in like 15 minutes. It was done and put in the completed post queue. Anyways, there's LinkedIn share, there's add likes, pins, folked, repins, add folked. I've had problems with folked, guys, so I don't use it. I just don't. As a matter of fact, I think folked went to, they give you a free account for like 2 weeks, and then you have to go to paid anyway, so I stopped using folked altogether. And then also there's add Google Pluses, and you can see I've got some campaigns going there. So, for example, I have the, let's remove these real quick, and I'll just go ahead and submit the YouTube URL that I just want to boost. We'll add that to there as well. So we'll hit add G plus, paste that in, click add post. So now it's in queue to get Google Pluses. Do some Facebook stuff. I have to remove, let's see, edit. Looks like this one's really slow, and it's probably because my Facebook account is not, it's probably locked. We'll try Facebook likes. So, anyways, that's SociSend, guys. I hope that makes sense. I like it a lot. As far as if you guys are seeing my full screen, you'll see a little submitter down here. And if I hover over that, you can see it's showing right now. It's today, since I reset my computer or rebooted, it's posted 130 times, and it'll show you what's available. It looks like there's 3 in queue that are available to be posted. So this is a little counter, and it'll show you activity and stuff like that. Just keep in mind, you've got to create your own accounts. Typically, what you'll have to do is create the accounts and then put some seed content on them, and then some decent seed content, 1 or 2 posts on each site, and then let it sit for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks before adding it to here. Because otherwise, if you create an account and add it to SociSend, and you start getting a bunch of spam posts on your account, which you will, and as part of the system, it'll shut down. Excuse me. And if it shuts down your account, then you lose the ability. So, for example, if I didn't have a Blogger account in here, then none of my posts would get posted to Blogger. That's how it works. It's reciprocal. So if you have a Tumblr account, if you submit a Tumblr account, then you can get Tumblr links. If you don't have a Tumblr account, they won't submit to Tumblr. So I hope that makes sense. All right, so let me roll into the next one. I'll try to be a little bit faster on the next one, guys, because SendWire is a little bit more manual anyways. So wait a minute. Where is my...
And the good thing, too, I can't remember if you went over it, but you can add RSS feeds directly into SociSend.
Yeah, I did go over that briefly, but they don't automatically post. They just go into a queue. You still have to go in and set up each post manually. So, wait a minute. Where the hell is this? Let's go back and try it again. Okay. So in here, the same thing that I talked about with SociSyn, guys, there it shows 32 different account types that you can post to, but so many of these account types are useless, and you can tell which ones I think are useless because I don't have any accounts in them. So for example, you can see I've got, like I don't use the Facebook stuff much, and then I don't use LinkedIn. And then you'll see like Kipt. Kipt was a kind of useless, so I didn't use that. And I've tested all of these. Every single one of the accounts in here I've tested. And Folk is definitely paid. Like they give you a free account up front, and then you have to, like in 2 weeks. It didn't used to be that way. It used to always be free, but now it's like you have to have a Folk Pro account. And so these become useless, and I had started building these in there, and then that's like something had changed in Folk recently, and that's what caused that. So I don't do those anymore. DeviantArt is useless in my opinion. This is basically like places people can share like artwork and photos and things like that. But what I found is that it's useless for what we do for blog posts and videos. Linkagogo, same thing. Newsvine, your accounts will get banned for spam, so it's pointless. You'll just be working yourself for no reason. So I don't use those anymore. And then also Joomla site, that's new. Now I have not done that because I've never had a Joomla site. So that's actually new. But if you take a look at this you can add RSS feeds to, but you have to create the specify which accounts you're going to post to. And I have not actually used this function other than I tried submitting feeds from like relevant related type blogs to try to add additional content to some of my networks. And at the time, it's been probably 2 months or 3 months since I had stopped it. But at the time, it would post, for some reason, it would post the same post from an RSS feed, sometimes 15 times on the same blog. Like, it was ridiculous, and I didn't realize it. And I was using, it was for limo services or something. I had a limousine feed, and it had posted the same post like 15 times, and it did that for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 posts. So I had over 100 and some posts on the accounts that it was posting to, and it was the same post over and over and over again. So anyways, I don't know if that's been fixed. It may have been a bug. It may have been a problem with the RSS feed itself that I had submitted from that blog. It might not have been a SendWire issue, but I just stopped doing it, so I can't really speak on that. If you take a look at the dashboard, what's cool here is it'll show you, like I've got 541 sites in here right now, and it'll give you kind of activity of what's been posted recently. So if we were to put one in queue, now this is what I was talking about with it being manual, is you'll see that underneath publish there's status updates, and if we go back to accounts, you'll see the difference. This is looking at all, but if we look at status updates, these are the status update sites. Okay? If you look at bookmarks, these are the bookmarking sites. And then if you look at blog posts, these are the blog posting sites. One thing that is cool is you could put self-hosted WordPress blogs in here, guys. What I found, though, is that it's a little bit funny when you're posting with the formatting of the post itself once it gets published on your blog. And I've been playing with that to try to fix that, to find out, how to do it properly. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. But the HTML code that it produces is a little bit weird. So like the spacing, like break tags and things like that, doesn't come out right. And I'm afraid to spam my PBNs. So I really don't use those, the self-hosted WordPress feature anymore. But if you figure it out, it could probably be pretty useful. So we're going to jump into publishing real quick. Let's do a blog post. And so you can put spin text in here. Use spin tags. You just got to make sure that you check article spinning down here, because if you don't and you click publish, it will publish with the spin tags. Ask me how I know that, because I've done it, and I've spammed some of my own Web 2s because I had forgot to check that. And then when you've blasted it out, across 50, 60 properties, I'm not going to go manually delete all those posts. So I'm going to go to this video, grab the embed code, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to stick the embed code here. Okay, and then we need to grab some content, so I'm going to just do the good old standard, steal some content from eZine articles. And we're going to do, let's look for quilting. And I usually don't grab something on the first page because that's what everybody does. So I'm just going to go to the second Easy machine quilting tips. That sounds perfect. And I'm going to also jump into, I don't know if they've integrated, at least, I don't think they have. Yeah, they need to integrate a spinner into this so that you don't have to do this separately. I don't think they have yet. I know they didn't when I set this up. I had an outsourcer, by the way, just creating accounts and putting them in there because it's a bit of a manual process. When you're creating accounts, you have to like authorize the apps and stuff. So you got to log out, clear your cookies, then log back in, and then submit the next set of accounts, and then log out. So I highly suggest. By the way, if Michael's on here, I know you hired Erwin. Erwin was doing this for me. He's the one that put all 541 accounts in here. So just in case you guys want, you know, in case you guys end up buying Cinewire, I would suggest you get somebody to do that for you and pay them because it's totally worth it. Let me quickly spin this. So anyways, they have not submitted a spinning application yet that we can use, which I think is stupid. But we're going to take this just down to here is fine. Let me clear it. And steal the title as well. Oops, not the right place. Okay. Now I'm going to spin this. And I always check this, and then I always check this because otherwise it comes out really, really bad. This makes it a little less bad and still spun garbage, but not quite as bad. I don't know if you guys have tested some of the other spinners out there. Like there's article, what is it? AI, Word AI. I think it's, and I've tried it, and I hear people talk about how good it is, and it's freaking expensive, and I didn't find it any better than this at all. And I pay yearly for this license, like a fraction of what Word AI costs. So I don't know if anybody here has had any luck with that, but
nope.
I thought it was worthless. I've tried it twice, once, and then I waited about 6 months and tried it again to see if it was any better, and it was no better. So don't waste your money is my point. You guys can get this for much cheaper. All right, I'm going to copy the title. Oops. Paste that in, and then we're going to grab the content, paste that in, and we'll finish this part of it up. And you'll see what I mean about how the posts come out funny. All right, so actually the first thing I want to do is I want to clear that by posting it back into a notepad because I don't know if that's part of the reason that the formatting comes out funny. But anyways, let's go ahead and grab that. And we'll paste this in. All right, so you're seeing the formatting and everything here, but if you go take a look at the HTML, which is this, you'll see that this is the way it looks, and the break tags are, they put every paragraph in divs, within div tags. And then the paragraph breaks, they're showing, like they do a div, then a break, and then a close div. And for whatever reason, on many of the places that this post will get posted to, there won't be any double break, so the paragraphs all run into each other with other than just one line break. So you know what I mean, there's no proper spacing, and it just looks spammy as shit. So that's why I'm saying I've been playing with it to try to make it look better by putting double spaces in, and I think that fixed it the last time I tested this a few days ago, that actually fixed it, and which is funny because then in Blogger for whatever reason, it had like quadruple spaces, so it's, you know, it's like you can't win. But I'm going to go ahead and try this one more time. I don't care about double spaces at that point. I'd still rather there be double spaces than no spaces between paragraphs because it just looks so spammy that way. And I could probably go back and delete that second space there. It looks like it's, you know, but whatever. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So make sure article spinning is checked. They had just recently added preview post, and see what's you click preview post and the same thing. In the preview post, it does not show your breaks at all, which is misleading, right? Because how do you know? I don't understand why they don't have that, you know, that ability yet, but they don't. So now the last thing I would do here is I would also add, because this is just the embed, but I would also want to add a link back to the video itself within the content. So I'm going to find a good part let's see, quilting. Quilting's good enough. So I just want to get a link back to the video URL too, instead of just the embed. So I'm going to, by the way, and that's the other thing, it doesn't have an add a link button, or does it? Yeah, it does, insert link button. But just to let you guys know, if you're going to use this, the link button, you're going to have to go edit the HTML where it's automatically a no-follow link, which sucks in my opinion. But we're going to say open link in new tab, insert link. Now if I go edit the HTML here, you're going to see, I'm going to find that link, and right there, rel equals no follow. It auto no follows the links. So you have to come manually edit the code to get rid of the no follow tag. All right? So keep that in mind, because it'll piss you off if you start syndicating a bunch of content and then you go look at it and they're all no follow links, you know. I don't know why they do that, but I guess it's probably because there's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing, and they would end up getting themselves in trouble because if you have, I talked about this yesterday, but anchor text links are not going to hurt you if they're no follow, and they probably coded that in because there's people that are going to be using this that don't really know what they're doing, and they could get themselves in trouble. So by no following them, it won't count against your anchor text profile. All right, so that's done. Let me go ahead and just click publish, submit. Oh, I didn't pick the accounts. Select networks. You can see these are all the networks I have. All 541 of them are, well, no, all of the blog accounts are available right here because it's not selecting status updates and bookmark accounts. So these are just blog accounts. So what I like to do is with the campaigns, when you set up campaigns, which you have a tab for here, I like to combine networks. Like I told you guys, you can set up theme networks, so you can see what I've got here. That I've got lists of them. So for example, for this one, I'm going to use the general networks, and I've got, let's see, I've got a general networks 1 through 6. So what I do is when I submit a persona or a profile and all the accounts for that profile, I give it a number and a category. So like I named these, like general number 6 is Daniel Pritchett, right? So then what I do is I also set up a campaign where I select, and you have to manually, by the way, when you're setting up the campaigns like that, you have to go through here and manually check all these. It's a pain in the ass. They need to improve this as far as like being able to set up groups and things like that, because otherwise you got to submit and then go through and check, scroll down to the next one, find the right blog and check on it. So it's just a pain in the butt. But it does work pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and select general 1 to 6, click save network, and then I'm going to submit post. And it should say that it's submitted to queue. Right here, success, queue updated, your blog post has been added to the system, and it will allow 1 to 2 minutes for SendWire to post your blog post. So we'll come back in just a minute, I'll refresh this page, and you'll see over here, it'll show where it's been posted to. And right now the current count is 152 posts this month, and you'll see that jump up too. So, all right, so that's SendWire. I hope that was useful, guys, because I've had a lot of questions about it recently. So I wanted to kind of go over those and let you guys make the decision if you want to buy it or not, or either of them. So is there any questions on any of that, guys?
Not so far, but
okay.
As always, we have delay.
Okay. All right, well, if you guys have any questions on that, just ask. I think I went pretty thorough into it, so you see how it works. So I want to talk about boosting domain authority. We'll jump back into SendWire in just a minute so we can show a couple of the posts. But in the meantime, this slide I actually pulled from the last webinar that we did, the last public webinar, and I talked about the 2014 local search ranking factors. And I did not pull that link up for you guys, but that's where Moz's 2014 local search ranking factor study that was just released, I don't know, 2 months ago now maybe. And it was talking about the one thing that I had seen over, and if you go to the blog, semanticmastery.com/blog, you'll see the post that I did on that specifically. Excuse me. And I basically took a screenshot of all the different parts of the study and showed that the commonality that was like one of the top 3 metrics for all the different things that they were comparing was domain authority. Okay, so very, very important to have high domain authority, and it's only becoming more and more important, especially for local stuff. Well, probably for anything really, but I found that for local stuff, you can manipulate that pretty easily. So how do we boost domain authority? We talked about interlinking branded properties, right? And that's what we do with the IFTTT networks when we build them. We interlink everything. That helps a whole lot, especially because you can start. Remember, the domain authority is going to be transferring back to your site. So, and these are all high domain authority properties that we use. So interlinking all those together helps a lot, and that's going to help to increase your domain authority and getting on as many high domain authority sites as possible. And guys, you don't always have to link back to the home page of your site. You can link to inner pages, and think of if you've got siloed sites, you can link to the top, the silo landing pages or the top of the silos. You can link to those too, so that you're pushing domain authority to different parts of your site. It doesn't all have to go to the home page. In fact, if you use other internal links when you're creating profiles and stuff on the high domain authority properties, you're going to see your domain authority will climb faster because you're targeting different points on your site. Does that make sense? Oh, what was that? Did you guys hear that, or was that just me? It sounded like...
I heard it too, yeah.
Okay. As long as you guys can still hear me. What I want to talk about is how we can boost it very, very quickly. And subdomains is the way that you can do that, by creating a subdomain on your site. And I talked about this before, but I want to go into more depth, and I want to show you an example, because Dedia, my software manager who runs GSA and FCS Networker for me, he, I gave him instructions on what I wanted to see, and he set it up for me. And in about 60 days, we pushed a domain to 47 domain authority. Very, very cool. And I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. But the idea is to create a subdomain on your money site, and it can be just put a WordPress site or even an HTML page on that subdomain. And just put one page of content on it. That's it. So if you're much more comfortable and faster installing WordPress for one page of content, then by all means do that. If you've got an HTML editor, you can slap an HTML file site up very, very quickly by just creating the page and submitting it to the folder on the server, and then you're done. So the point is to get a page of content. It doesn't even have to be related to what your money site is, the root of your site, the root domain of your site. The important point is to just get something on there that will index. And in the last test that I set up, I just did videos. I did absolutely no content whatsoever, other than I used 5 YouTube videos that were in the same industry on the home page of a WordPress site that I set up, and that was it. Okay, and it indexed. And once it gets indexed, then you can set the site to no index, because you just want to get Google to recognize that it exists first, that subdomain. Once you get it to recognize that it exists, then you can go in and set it to no index. You can tell Google, okay, now that you know that I'm here and that I'm indexed, go ahead and no index me. Take me out of the index, and then just start blasting it with GSA campaigns. And you could do, GSA campaigns, or you could do other, there's other things that you can do to also boost with using the same subdomain. So I typically, because it's a lot easier, would just spam it with GSA, right? And you don't have, again, it doesn't have to be related. In fact, I would not make it related to what your industry is. Or if you do, that's okay, but make it, all of your inbound links should be generic. So 100% generic inbound anchor text. So, URL anchors, URL links, and generic anchor text is all you want. I would not be pushing any sort of keyword anchors at the subdomain at all. Because the idea is it has nothing to do with keyword relevancy. All you're doing is pushing juice. That's it, period, to boost domain authority. And so that's why you set it to no index too. Why do you set it to no index? Well, you don't want your competitors finding it, right? If your competitors are doing backlink analysis on you because you're their competition, and they see all of a sudden that your domain that last month was at a 12 domain authority, and this month it's at 45, they're going to say, "Holy shit!" If they know anything about SEO, they're going to say, "Holy crap! What the hell happened? How'd this guy get so many? His domain authority jumped so high." And then if they look at your backlink profile in Majestic SEO or Ahrefs, they're not going to see any of these links that are built to the subdomain. If your subdomain's no indexed, they're not going to see it, right? All they're going to look at is the links now. And if they're smart, if they're savvy, they'll go do a site a site operator and Google to see what other, if they can find pages that aren't being shown. But if you have it set to no index and it's not in the index, they're not going to find it, right? So, and I'm going to show you an example of that here in just a minute. The other ways that you could do it if you're not using GSA is you could set up an auto blogs with the IFTTT networks, and in that case you could connect as many IFTTT networks to that auto blog as you wanted. So there's a ton of auto blog plugins out there. Several of them more recently that just like do video audio blogging where they just pull in YouTube videos. Network Empire has one, their Video Silo plugin. They have the Video Kraken plugin. Peter Garrity just released one called the Video Curator. That I haven't tested yet. I purchased it, but I haven't tested it yet. It looks really good.
Great.
Go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody was interrupting. Okay. If you have a question, just interrupt me. So you could do that and set up multiple IFTTT networks. You're not really worried about footprints because in that case you're just trying to push juice back to the site. You could also do auto blogs with auto social signals. Some of the things like what we just talked about, I know, like for example, Network Empire with their Social Explosion plugin, it's rather expensive, but it will automate social signals back to posts automatically. So with an auto blog, it works well, except you have to pay for the credits, and the credits are quite expensive. So just keep that in mind. The other way that you can do GSA boosting, or I'm sorry, domain authority boosting, is using expired domains with 301 redirects. Okay, if you go out and you find, we talked about this before, but excuse me, I've taken in tests that I've done, shoot, about a year ago now. I've had a tree service site that got penalized in Penguin, and so I just was I was testing different things on the site, and my domain authority was I think 16 or 17, something like that. Well, I went to Register Compass or expireddomains.net or something, and I found a Chinese domain that had gone through the auction process, and it was in closeout. Right, closeout domains you can get for $5, $8, $11, that sort of thing. And I found one that had like a domain authority of 57, and it was, you know, I got it for like $8 plus, you know, the GoDaddy registration fee, so it was like $25. I just got it was a totally spam domain, but it had a domain authority of 57, and that brings me to this point. If we go to Firefox, because what you need to do in those cases, if you're going to be doing this, where you're looking, you don't really care if it's a spam domain or not. It really makes no difference. All you're going to do is redirect all the juice from that domain to the subdomain of the site that you're going to, you know, you're doing the domain authority boosting for. So it doesn't matter if it's spammed. And this was a Chinese domain. And by the way, they're a dime a dozen. You can get Chinese spammed domains a dime a dozen on closeout. And the idea is to just look for the ones with the highest domain authority. But with Chinese domains, if you guys do look into this, you'll find that a lot of Chinese domains have dozens and sometimes hundreds and even sometimes thousands of subdomains, and that's why they have such high domain authorities, because of all the subdomains. So if you buy a domain that had a bunch of subdomains and you just do a domain redirect, you don't get the juice from all of those subdomains. You lose all of that. So what you need to do is set the domain up on a hosting account, which you could use one of your shared hosting accounts. It doesn't matter. Just use that as an add-on domain, and then put an htaccess file in the public HTML folder for that domain that has it's a 301 wildcard script, or what do you call it, directive that will direct all of the subdomains that are non-existent back to the home page to the root domain, and then the root domain is just redirected like normal to your money site or to your subdomain of your money site. So, and I've got the code for that. It's different on different servers, at least I think. I'm not real good with htaccess stuff, guys, so it took me a while to figure it out, and Hernan actually helped me with it. But I have the htaccess directive available for what worked on my servers, and I can give that to you. If you want that, just request it from me and I'll send it to you, okay? Because I don't have that prepared for you guys today. But just keep that in mind. The way to find out is when you go to look at a domain, you want to go to site : and then type in the root domain, and it's going to bring up everything that's available that's been indexed. So with that, I want to show you the one that I did that I got a 47 out of very quickly. If you guys remember, well, first let's just go look at the domain so you can see it. You guys remember from the Cardinal Plumbing case study, right? So I'm going to say cardinalplumbing.us. Remember, I had that on a subdomain, blog.cardinalplumbing.us. Okay, so we take a look. You'll see I've got. Remember, I've redirected every one of the pages on this site individually to the client site, because I still build all the links that I build I build to this domain and not to the client's domain directly, other than the citation links, which they go directly to the client site. But for all the the other kind of link building, I build to this domain, and each one of the pages have just been redirected page by page. So this is the only page left on the site that I didn't redirect, and it's because it's the home page. So what I did was I just put a link to the home page there, to the client site, right? But you can see, look at the domain authority, 47. You see that? And if you take a look at this, if we actually go look at, let me get into, and we'll take a look at this here in just a moment too, but let's go look at Majestic SEO, because I want you to see, if you take a look at that actual domain in Majestic, you're going to see, like, you look at the metrics, you'll say, well, how the hell did you get to a 45 or 47 with only that amount of links? Because you'll see that there's like pretty much nothing there. Okay. So this is showing 48 referring domains for a total of 196 links. Okay, and there's no way that I would get to that sort of domain authority from just that amount of links, right? There's unless they were incredibly powerful links. And if we take a look at the backlink profile, you'll see that a lot of these aren't. A lot of these are just. It looks like some of these AI had made a mistake on the money site and had left the old code on the page. I corrected that yesterday, but you'll see, like, these are just bookmarking type links, because I used like Social Ladder and things like that to pillow the site. If you guys remember, when I set up the case study, I had bought SAP links to boost the site initially, and remember, I got really good results, but then I obviously removed those, but I had pillowed those pages with Social Ladder links, and that's what you're seeing here. And that's it. That's the only thing you're seeing, right? There's not a whole lot of anything. And you should see I've hidden the deleted backlinks. These are the only backlinks that Majestic is seeing right now on the site. And there's FriendFeed and Diigo. Where'd that come from? SociSend, right? And then here's some Social Ladder links that you see here, which are like bookmarks, PHP type bookmarks. Okay. So anyways, I just wanted to show that to you. But if we go to take a look at the site operator, and we look at just the root domain in this case, which would be cardinal.us. Now this is going to show all of the, it's showing 26 indexed results. Well, a lot of these indexed results, for example, plumbing repair service, this page URL, if I click this page, you'll see that it's going to redirect automatically to the client site, because I remember I've got pages redirected on a page-by-page basis. See how the URL changed? It's cardinalplumbingva.com now, instead of what it was, cardinalplumbing.us. So each one of those pages, I don't know why some of these are still indexed when they're 301 redirect. Maybe they just have not been recrawled yet, because you can see that these are the only page that is left on this site is the home page. Everything else has been redirected. Okay, but you can see that this is showing the blog pages, because I just did a site operator on the root, and it's going to show everything. So this is why you want to hide, you want to no index the domain authority boosting subdomain. Now I had not done that on this one for a while, so it might show up in the index. I set it to no index about a week ago, and I don't know if it has fallen out of the index yet. Probably not. In fact, if we come down here and look at the repeat the search, this is what they call the supplemental index, guys. When you see this, this is called the supplemental index. If you click on that, I have a feeling we'll find the domain authority boosting. Yes, it's right there. And that's because I had not set it to no index. So my point is, you want to hide this to where your competitors can't find this, because now if a competitor was coming to look and say, okay, well, how did he get to 47 with only a handful of links, and they're just social bookmark type links? How the hell did he do it? Well, if you had set your domain authority boosting, and you see how I very cleverly called it DAB, domain authority boosting subdomain, right? The domain authority boosting.cardinalplumbing.us. Had I had this set to no index like I should have, then this wouldn't be available. They wouldn't find this, right? But since it's there, let's go take a look at it, and I'll show you this is where all the power came from to give us that kind of domain authority. Look at this summary. 187,000 backlinks from 4,999 referring domains, and that was in about, I don't know, 2 months, 60 days or so. So that's where all the juice comes from, is from this domain authority boosting subdomain, guys. And again, I had just I should have had it set to no index after it had first initially got indexed, but I didn't, and that was my fault. I set it to no index since about a week ago, but it's apparently still showing in the supplemental index. Does that make sense? I hope that's clear. And then what I'll show you what I've done was now, because that, remember, this is the cardinalplumbing.us site, right? This is my domain, not the client's domain. But what did I do? I went ahead, once we got to 47, you can see now, look, the domain, now it changed to dab.cardinalplumbingva.com. I did a subdomain redirect to a subdomain on the client site, because the client, look at the client's domain authority, it's only 16. Well, I want to push that 47 domain authority from my domain to the client's domain so that I can boost his up. So all I did was a subdomain redirect to a dab.cardinalplumbingva.com. So this is on the client's money site, and you can see that I've just got 5 videos on this page. Or is it 4? Looks like it's just 4 videos. And so and I just did that after the last Moz update, which was about a week ago or maybe 10 days ago. That's when I also removed it from the index, set it to no index and all of that. But it was just updated about a week ago maybe. And so I'm hoping that at the next Moz refresh, which will be in about another 3 weeks or so, that we're going to see a huge jump in domain authority on the client's domain, since I just redirected the subdomain from the other site to here. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But I hope that makes sense. Is that clear? Is there any questions on that? Apparently not. All right. Okay. Well, let's jump back here and take a look at this for a minute. This was set at 152. If we refresh this page, you'll see it went to 179. So we got 27 posts out of that. And if we take a look at view profile, this is a Tumblr site. We'll click that. We'll go take a look at the posts. So there's the embed. And it looks like the spacing issue, by me adding those additional spaces, it did help. Like I said, I could have probably removed one of them, but it looks like it came out all right. And then there should have been a URL in an anchor text link in here somewhere, and I'm not seeing it. I thought we had it right there. Oh, you know what? I put it in the spin tax, and it was probably one of the sentences that got spun out in this particular output. I bet you that was it. That was my fault. I should have had it in all of the sentences in that particular spin bracket, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's go take a look at another one. This is another Tumblr profile. Yeah, so I bet you if I looked at enough of these, it would appear in one of them, because I think it was right there, but it was probably one of the versions of the sentence that I didn't have it in. So, all right, so you guys get the idea. Let's scroll down and look at the blogger profile of one of these. And the spacing's not too bad on that one. So that's it. That's how SendWire works. I just wanted to show that to you guys so you can make your own decision. I think this is good for boosting things that have already been posted, but personally, I think SociSend is better for automation. All right. Okay, we're running out of time here, so let's get into the next part of this, which is SAFE. I told Adam Patel I would cover this, so we'll cover that, and that's probably all we're going to get to today. I want to talk about, in the next slide, you'll see these are, and remember, this is the same slide from the last webinar that we did before Thanksgiving, but if you guys want, this is a big long list here of, I don't know, there's like 20 or 22 sites there or something that a lot of these we use in our own IFTTT networks, but there's a lot of other ones here that have very, very high domain authority that you can still create accounts on and still put a link back to your site. And remember, not necessarily always just to your home page, link to your inner pages as well. And these are a good way to boost your domain authority also. So there's the white hat way and the black hat way, right? The white hat way is to do the interlinking of branded properties to build these type of profiles with links back to your money site. Then auto blogs, doing anything on the subdomain is more of a black hat method. I mean, you could set up a nice auto blog, especially if you're just auto blogging with YouTube videos, that will they won't be really considered spam. They're just video sites. So you can do that, or you could just go the pure spam route, which is what, that's the easiest. I like that route. But you just, like I said, stick a subdomain on there, boost it with GSA, and over 45, 60 days, you're going to get a huge increase. And guys, the magic number, I don't. This is what I was told by Jimmy Kelly of Network Empire, and he knows a lot of stuff about this kind of stuff. But the magic number for local is 42, If you can get to a 42 domain authority, then it's so much easier to rank sites for local keywords. You know, all things. If your on page factors and everything are all good, then you can rank very, very easily with a 42 domain authority. So that's my target when I'm doing DA boosting, is I'm trying to get above 42, and 47 actually did it. So the next thing I want to talk about with domain authority boosting you can do is using SAPE, and that brings us right into the next part. And SAPE is, there is a software program that's called Saper, and I'm going to put these links in chat, guys. And basically it integrates with the SAPE.ru network. And let me put these in chat. Let's see. We've got. I'm going to have to pull up the software. Let's see. Saper is there. By the way, the links that I just posted in the chat, guys, there's the first one, which is the link to the software. I think it's $47. Then the second two are YouTube links, and they're links from the Black Hat community that they're just videos that show how to get signed up for the SAPE platform, the SAPE network, because it's all in Russian. So you got to put a Google Translate plugin in the Chrome. So like I actually do this on a laptop. I don't do this on my main computer. But then you've got to translate each page as you're going through the steps to get activated, and so that's what the how-to videos are for. And I just want to mention that in the how-to videos, he talks about how when you connect a credit card to the SAPE network, it will put one small deposit on your credit card account, and you need to call your bank and then find out what the deposit was in rubles, Russian rubles, not in U.S. dollars, even though you can convert it. And a lot of banks will not be able to give you that original deposit amount in rubles. Like they just give it to you in its converted currency into U.S. dollars. Okay, and if you try to, if you go back and you attempt to enter in the verification amount, the deposit amount, like PayPal, I'm sure we're all familiar with how it works with PayPal. It's very similar with the SAPE network. Then if you are wrong, and because it's converted currency, it could fluctuate from day to day, right? And even very, very small, minute fluctuations are going to change the amount. And so if you try to submit the number in U.S. dollars, your bank's going to show like an 8-cent deposit, right? And if you try to convert that into Russian rubles and then go put that Russian ruble number, it's going to be a fraction type number. And if that fraction is off, then it's going to say incorrect. And apparently if you do 3 times, try to submit 3 times, and it's incorrect 3 times, it will lock your SAPE account and put a lock on your credit card, I guess through your bank or something, because it's like, you know, a fraud protection or something. So what I did to solve that problem was I just and he talks about it in one of the second videos. He said that you can call your bank, which I did, and they were not able to give me the Russian ruble amount. All they could give me was the converted currency. So he walks you through at the end of I think the first video on how to contact the support department of SAPE.ru and send them an email and say, look, I couldn't get it, the currency amount, but this is what it was converted into dollars. Can you help me? And within 24 hours, they'll approve your account. And that's exactly what I did, and it worked. So just keep that in mind. How I use these links. Well, let's open up the Saper software. This is it right here. You guys can see this, correct? Hello?
Yep.
Still here.
All right, just want to make sure you can see it. All right, so I've got the accounts set in there. This software is weird, it's buggy, but you know, it's better than trying to translate the pages over and over again in Chrome. It's just a pain in the butt. Come on, let's see if this will work. I actually just installed this on my computer today just for this presentation. Let's see, it looks like it shut down, so we'll try it again. Because like I said, I do this on a laptop instead. Oh, it's Norton's taking it, that's why. Norton doesn't like it. Let's see if I can add it to the whitelist. Give me 1 second, guys. I should have tried running this before, but I didn't, so I apologize for that. Well, I might not be able to show you because it's saying that it's yeah. I can't. I don't think I can whitelist it right now. Yep. I'm sorry. I can't show you the software, guys. Remind me in 1 hour. So I apologize, I can't show you the Saper software, but it's a very simple program. It's a bit weird. It's in the instructions that come with it. Really, the instructions are on the sales page. So I did put the link. We'll jump over there just for a minute, and that's okay because we're running out of time anyways. I probably couldn't have given it a proper walkthrough, so maybe we'll do that next week or the next time, or I'll do a separate video on it. But right here these are the instructions on how to use it, and that's it. So it's weird. I've played with this to buy. I've probably bought about 6 links from the SAPE network using this tool, and the first link it probably took me an hour to buy because it's even though it's such a simple program, it's weird. Like he doesn't give a lot of clear instructions on how to use it. So you just got to keep playing with it. The last couple links that I was able to buy in about 10 minutes each because I've gotten better at it, but I'm still not really comfortable with it. So I just want you to know that if you do end up using this program, it's a little bit strange. And like I said, maybe I'll do another video on that, or we'll talk about it on the next webinar. But what I want to show you is examples of what you can get with it. This is one of the links that I purchased last week, and you'll see it's a total spam link on a Russian site, but let's go look at it. Look at the domain authority is 57. The page authority is 54. You can see here's my link. It's to a YouTube video because it's one of the videos that I'm doing for my video syndication, the client that I was just talking about. So Home Pest Control Charlottesville. It's exact match anchor in the footer of the site, all right, and it's on a domain authority 57, page authority 54. Now come take a look at this. Post this in here where you can see the page rank. You guys see this down here? Page rank 6. So I got this. Yeah, it's not a good. Like I would never point this type of a link directly at my money site, but this is a YouTube video, right? So who the hell cares? So I got this PR6 domain or PR6 link with a high page authority and high domain authority for $6.88 per month. And that's it. I mean, like I said, it's for the purpose that I'm using it here for a YouTube video. It's worked really well. And now I'll show you what I mean. That particular video was stuck on. Let's see, it was Home Pest Control Charlottesville. That was stuck around number 15. It was on second page of Google, and all of the IFTTT network stuff that I did several SendWire boosts, boosts on it and everything else, and I could not get it to go above number 12 on page 2. And sometimes that happens, guys, with YouTube videos. That's why I always say don't ever promise that you can get somebody's video on page 1. I always tell them I will try my best, and if I can't, then we'll try another keyword. I don't tell them I'm going to give you your money back. I tell them we'll try another keyword. But this one was stuck around 12. Was about the highest I could get it for several weeks. You can see when I did this was November 12th. And that's unusual because most of the time within 2 weeks I can get it to page 1. If it's going to go on page 1. I can get it there using all the other methods that I typically use. But for whatever reason, this one it would not. So I bought that link last week, this one right here that you're looking at, this one right here. And it jumped, and now it's at, what, I think position 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, position 6. So it jumped from like 12 to position 6 in about a week. And in fact, it went to page 1 like within 24 hours. It was like around number 8. And then it dropped back to page 2 again for a few days, and then it just jumped back last night back up to page 1, and it's sitting at number 6. And now the only thing I did different was this one link, and it's $6.88 a month, right? This guy's paying me $100 a month to rank the video, so can I afford a $6.88 per month link to get it to page 1? Yeah, absolutely. So that's, I just want to say that there are a ton of good links like that you can find in the SAPE network. And that's what the Saper software will do. It'll give you the access to not have to, it just basically scrapes all the domains and it will show the page rank. And then you can also integrate your Moz API key if you have a premium account so that you can check domain authority for the domains. But typically what I'll do is, and I wish I could open the software, but Norton blocked it. But once you scrape a bunch of domains, you can set categories, and you can also set the problem with categories is all the categories are in Russian. So I don't know what the categories are, other than there is an English site. There's a high or top level or something category, and then there's an MP3 category, and those are the only three categories that are in English, and the rest of them are all in Russian. So I don't know what any of them are. But honestly, I don't care. Like I'm just looking for pure PageRank, and that's it. That's all I'm looking for on these SAPE links is pure PageRank, because some of these are hacked links. Who cares? You know, I'm just paying for the juice, and that's it. So what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll set a minimum PageRank of, like, say 4, and then I'll say 4 to 7 or 4 to 9 or something like that, and then I'll put in, you know, I'll tell it to search, and you can also select which type of domains it will search on, so you can pick just .coms, .orgs, .nets, things like that if you want. But again, I don't care. This is on a .ru. And I don't care, because all I'm looking for is juice, and I'm not pushing to my money site. However, that's going to bring us into the next slides, and then we're going to wrap it up because we're on the hour-and-a-half mark anyways. In using these SAPE links, how can you use these to your money site? Well, you can you can use these to your money site. You just want to buffer them. You want to buffer them, and how do you buffer? You can use 301s. All right, we talked about 301s a minute ago when we were talking about doing the subdomain for the domain authority boosting subdomain, but you can use 301s multiple ways. Not only can you buy expired domains and then 301 them to a subdomain on your money site, which is one way to just boost domain authority, but SAPE links will boost domain authority very, very quickly. Also, SAPE links, believe it or not, will boost trust flow and citation flow, which I find funny because they're like completely irrelevant links for the most part. But I guess because there's so much juice behind them, you'll see that you'll be able to push your citation flow and trust flow, your Majestic metrics, up by using SAPE links very quickly. Even if they're from unrelated sites. It's interesting. I don't know how that works or why that works, but it does. But anyways, using 301 redirects, you know, like I talked about getting expired domains and redirecting them to a subdomain. Well, you can also do SAPE links and redirect them to a subdomain. So can you use SAPE links for money sites? Yes, you can do it by, number one, sending the SAPE links to subdomains of your money site purely for domain authority boosting. Or if you want to send the SAPE juice to your money site pages, the actual pages that you want to rank for, then what you need to do is buffer them using 301s. And there's a couple ways to do this. One would be, my preferred method is with Weebly and Meta Refresh. And I do want to go into that, so we're going to go over a little bit on time, guys. If any of you need to jump that are on with me, please feel free. But I do want to cover this with the Meta Refresh and Weebly. And guys, this is gold that I'm giving you here if you haven't already known about it. I use this a lot. I'm using a ton of SAPE links right now, guys, because they work. And you know, it's so much easier than managing your own PBNs. You just go out and for very, very cheap, you can get a ton of really high-powered, not high quality, but high-powered links. And if you buffer them properly, you can take advantage of that juice without putting your site in danger. And here's the thing: if you do end up causing harm to your site, if you've got them buffered properly, all you need to do is remove the buffer. You essentially just remove the link between the bad links and your site, and it's going to eliminate that trouble, right? So there's really no reason to. And so, I mean, I still got a ton of PBMs, guys, but I'm using more and more of this because it's so much automated. So this is a Weebly site that I had built. If you guys that have been members for a while, you'll remember I had built this site when I went to the OMG thing last year in November. But what I want to do is go to Pages, excuse me, and this is the home page, and I want to go to Advanced Settings. This was a Weebly site that I had spammed to the top of the search results for Plumbing Contractors Manassas, for a client that I had picked up right before I went to the event last year. And then after I had got it to the top of the search results, I did a Meta Refresh code directly to their brand new domain that had a domain authority of 1, and all of a sudden, boom, they were at the top of the search results in under a month of them hiring me. So they were quite impressed. Well, since the Penguin 3.0 that occurred, when was it, October 17th or whatever it was, the Web 2s got hit a lot, and then Penguin 3.0, I think a lot of you guys were aware of that. Web 2s got hit a lot, so I removed the Meta Refresh from this domain. So just to show you, let's go take a look at it really quickly. What is, publish it. All right, so this is the site, and you can see that there's no refresh now. This is just, it's on its own, which is funny because it actually ranks on page 1 now too. So the client site ranks on page 1, and now this one ranks on page 1 for plumbing contractors, Manassas or whatever. So they actually got an additional listing out of it since I removed the meta refresh. But very quickly it worked at the time for what I wanted it to. But let me go back to pages, go to advanced settings, and this, I'm going to share this code with you guys. But what you want to do for a meta refresh is you've got, what I do is I put this, I leave everything on the domain, on the page itself, the way, and guys, you can do this on a page-by-page basis. This is why I'm saying that this is my preferred method. I'm not going to show you some other examples because there are sites that I don't really want to share, but I've got some sites that I've got, 50, 60 pages, Weebly sites, okay, that I've got 50 and 60 pages on, and then I build SAPE links to those pages, and then I do a meta refresh on a page-by-page basis to the pages on my money site. And what I'll do is I'll just take the money site pages from my actual money site, and I'll just copy one paragraph of content from that site and paste that onto a page that I create on the Weebly site, and that's my page for the Weebly site. It's just one paragraph of copied content from my money site. Then I blast it with SAPE links. You'll see the page authority boost real fast because its domain authority is high anyways. It's Weebly, right? And then I'll do the meta refresh over to my money site. And here I'm going to show that to you. So I put move to new URL, and let's just go grab. Let's go grab one of the. We'll grab the client's domain. That's fine. In this case, it was. Now you know what? We'll use the plumbing. We'll use this one. So this is going to be just going to the home page of the site. So I put the URL in there. This is actually the page title. This is the SEO title, right? So this is the first thing that Google's going to see. And I do this so that the Weebly site doesn't shut me down. The only reason I do this is because I'm telling Weebly, hey, I had a page here, but now I've moved it over to my own domain, and but I want to keep my Weebly site. So that's why I do this, so that Weebly does not shut my account down. But here's the meta refresh code. I'm going to copy this, and we put that in the header right here. You guys saw how I got there, right? You go to Pages and Advanced Settings. If you've got multiple pages, excuse me, if you've got a 1-to-1 page ratio from pages on your Weebly site to pages on your money site, they're all going to be listed over here. And you just click on whatever page, and you do the same thing, Advanced Settings, and you do this on a page-by-page basis. Now let me grab this URL. I'm going to copy that, and we're going to stick that right here, the meta refresh code. Okay, and now I'm going to hit publish. And now, if we take this URL here, I'm going to do this in Firefox, so I'm not cookied, and I'm going to paste this in. Now watch this. See what it does? It gives it a second, and then it reverts. It's the other site was being slow, the server was being slow, but you see how it automatically reverted. So with the meta refresh code, if you look at it, we'll go back and look at it in here. The meta refresh code, you'll see where it says content equals and then it says 0. That's the time delay. If you set that into anything above 0, you'll lose the ability to push the juice through it. So like if you set that to 1, it would be like a 1-second delay. 0 is the small, you can't go any less than 0, but just to show you again, once again, we'll do it again. It's going to go to this site, and then it's going to refresh over to the money site on its own. Okay? So, and it looks like the server is being slow for this site. But the point is that that's what it does. So now you guys can build SAPE links to the Weebly pages, and that's my preferred method. And then blast, build the links directly to the Weebly site, and then you do a meta refresh to your money site. And that way, all you're doing is you're pushing the juice through the Weebly site to, which is a 97 domain authority, right? Or even higher now. What is it? Whatever. I think it's 97. So you're using a high domain authority site as a buffer between the SAPE links and your money site. I hope that makes sense. That's my preferred method. The other ways to do it is you can buy your own domains, which you certainly can do. You can buy redirect domains. So you can buy domains on sale like .infos used to be on sale. I don't know if they are anymore, but .pws, I think they're $4, $3.99 or something like that. You can buy brand new domains and buffer. You just set up 301 redirects that way. And you can also do 301 redirect tools or spam tools like 301 Nuke. and URL Redirect Pro. URL Redirect Pro is made by the same people that make GSA. Well, it's GSA. It's the same people that make GSA Search Engine Ranker. Okay. In fact, I will grab these two links. And so if you guys are already using GSA, you might as well use the Redirect Pro tool instead. And here they are, the two links for those. 301 Nuke, that is a very simple tool that will just do a bunch of like Bitly type redirects, the link shortener 301s. Now, I would suggest, however, that if you're going to use those, that you still put another buffer in between, because I don't know that you have control over those 301s to be able to remove them in case they cause trouble. So the only reason why I like to do those is because, like, for example, if you have one target URL and you submit it through one of these tools and it builds 180 Bitly type links, like so URL shortened links, that gives you 180 target points for that one domain, right? That one URL that you're trying to boost. That's why I like that, but I would still probably put some buffer in between. So here's an example of what I'm getting at, guys. You could take a redirect domain or a Weebly page, submit the Weebly page to the 301 Nuke or URL Redirect Pro, generate 180 shortened links, and then build SAPE links to those 180 shortened links. It gives you, and you'll boost domain authority very, very quickly that way. And a lot of those redirect links are got high domain authority anyways, and some of that rubs off. So at least that way you still have a firewall in place through the Weebly site that you can remove the meta refresh, or you could remove, you know, if you're using your own domain as a redirect domain, you could remove that if it causes trouble in the future. And it very may well, guys. This is definitely a hack that I'm using that works. But I'm mitigating that, you know, I'm hedging myself against any future trouble. So I wanted to share that. The Bitly update, guys, I do want to mention that there was a thread in the community about, actually in a YouTube video that Hernan did about 301s, and Brian Parnell, he's a member of Newswire.net, and he's an SEO guy, and he actually brought up the fact that Bitly has been adding spam tags to Bitly links. So I do not recommend using Bitly anymore as URL shorteners at all. For, you know, if you're going to be using them in a chain of links, like in tiered link building, don't use Bitly, because the Bitly is a 301 redirect link, which means it passes juice, but with the spam tag attached to it, which Bitly will just determine on its own that the destination URL is spam, and I don't know what the parameters are that trip that. It could just be completely random, I don't know. But when it determines, when it adds the spam tag to it, then it makes it a 302 link. So you basically, it's absolutely useless for link building at that point. So don't use Bitly anymore. It's okay to use Bitly in our syndication networks, which we do, right? In the newer updated IFTTT training, we talk about using Bitly. That's fine, because essentially you're just embedding a video or posting content to Bitly, and some of the domain authority is going to rub off. But that has nothing to do with the tiered network building. Okay, if you're talking about tiered networks, then Bitly is pretty much useless now. I don't recommend using it. Okay, so that was it. I hope that made sense. The meta refresh stuff, guys, I'll give you the code again once I get this replay posted in the community. I'll post a couple of these links in the notes in the post underneath so that you guys will have them. And if you have any questions about it specifically, let me know, and we can chat about it and maybe go over it again on the next, you know, whatever things that are unclear we can go over next time. So, with that said, is there anything else? Any questions, Chris?
No questions so far.
Okay. Well, you guys were quiet today. Okay. What is what it is. So Adam says he loves the curation concept with Weebly and SAPE. Oh yeah, Adam, dude, I'm telling you, I'm doing more of that than anything right now, because at least for money sites, because it's just so easy. You know, you just set it up and you build the money site anyways, and then you just create a Weebly site, and you match it page for page. Use the content from the money site. As soon as the pages get indexed, I just blast the hell out of them with SAPE links, and then do a meta refresh, and you'll see that your money site pages will take over where the Weebly pages were. And even if they don't, even if it's not ranking real well, you're still getting the juice, so that if you provide some clean links to it, you'll rank that way, because you've already got the juice as a foundation. Does that make sense? And again, you don't have to, as far as managing PBNs and all that, it's just a pain in the ass. I mean, it's still effective, but I like doing this because it's just easier. So, hope that makes sense. Just don't blow yourselves up, guys. If you're going to do it, just be careful. But by the way, Adam, I told you I was going to show you the Saper software. So maybe what I'll do is I'll cut a video on my laptop, the one that I do use it on all the time, and show you a walkthrough of that because it's a bit funny playing with it. But it's totally worth it if you're going to be buying SapeLinks because, guys, you can buy SapeLinks from SapeLink dealers, in Black Hat forums and that kind of thing, but you're paying them also, so they're obviously making money on doing this for you. You can do this yourself through Saper and find them really cheap. You guys saw the PR6 domain right here with the domain authority 57, and I got that for $6.88 a month. And you guys can do that yourselves too. You can buy links in there like page authority, or page rank 5, 6, 7. For $5 a month, $6 a month. There's some that are $18 and $20 a month, but they have much better metrics, things like that. But you can buy some just dirty old links like this that are going to do wonders for like YouTube videos and Web 2s and stuff for very, very cheap. So, all right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up. We're about 15 minutes over. If there's no other questions, it looks like there's not. So, okay, guys, we'll see you next week on Wednesday for the Hump Day Hangouts, and then in 2 weeks again for the members-only webinar. Please, guys, keep the questions coming in. Post them in the community on the events page. I'm going to post that in a minute for next week's Hump Day Hangout. If you have any questions, post them there so that we can cover that. I like having the questions ahead of time. It makes it easier to answer. So, thanks for being here, guys, and we will see you all next week.
See you, bye.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Adam.
See ya.